Good afternoon. My name is Zainab Akbar, and I'm the managing attorney of the Family Defense Practice at Neighborhood Defender Service of Harlem. Thank you to the chairs and the members and the staff of the committees for this opportunity to testify with my colleagues from Bronx Defenders, Brooklyn Defender Services, and Center for Family Representation about the family court system. We collectively represent the agencies who provide public defense in New York City's family courts. We are here to ask the committees to focus not on nameless, faceless standards and goals, but instead on the real impact that the current functioning of the family court and ACS has on your individual constituents, their families, their communities, and the city at large. The current state of affairs in family court is a reflection of the structural racism and classism that underlies this system. And which system am I talking about? As you'll hear from us, our organizations have affirmatively adopted the phrase family policing system or family regulation system to describe what has traditionally been called the child welfare system. And we do that because that reflects the system's prioritization of surveillance, punishment, and control of low-income Black and brown and other marginalized communities rather than genuine assistance to families. I'm here to provide a background and history to our collective and joint testimony. Just like our modern police systems are directly descended from slave patrols, the family policing system's origins are in the separation of enslaved Black children and parents to profit from their labor, and in the government-sponsored separation of indigenous children from their parents, meant to destroy the communities whose land the government was seeking to colonize. Today, as everyone knows, Black and brown children are separated from their parents by ACS and placed in the foster system at rates hugely disproportionate to their presence in the total population of New York City's children. And this is not an accident. Widespread research, including 2 recent internal investigations commissioned by ACS itself, consistently and reliably demonstrate that Black and brown families are targeted by the family policing system. These internal reports also demonstrate that ACS caseworkers are pressured to coerce vulnerable families to relinquish their constitutional rights before a court is even involved, or they have assigned counsel. The current system of mandated reporting unnecessarily funnels huge numbers of low-income Black and brown families into intrusive investigations without any evidence that the system actually helps families or prevents or reduces harm to children. What harms children is being separated from their families. What harms children is entering a system that literally guarantees higher delinquency rates, higher teen birth rates, lower earnings over life, I'll wrap up, increased likelihood of juvenile justice system involvement, and increased likelihood of needing emergency health care within a year of their parents being investigated. The system creates a stop and frisk dynamic that entangles vulnerable families into a system of child safety theater, where families are torn apart by the court and ACS instead of supported. The idea of an innocent person being wrongly incarcerated is intolerable to New Yorkers. That same logic should apply in this system. Even one child wrongfully torn from their parents is one child too many. New York City should have a children and family services institution that turns to prosecution and separation as an absolute last resort, but that's not what happens day to day. And it should be an institution that serves family based on the family's self-identified needs and not the needs identified by the system.
Thank you very much.